Hey y'all, I'm back. My client today has some body dermatitis. She was pregnant during COVID, so she hasn't been taking her treatments. And this is her first appointment back since COVID, and we decided to do it at her crib just for her and the baby. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
It's hard to put steroids in your scalp anyway. I yeah. I also I wasn't on the biologic that I usually take to like suppress my immune system.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was pregnant before in the fall before getting pregnant again with this guy.
I was 10 days past mine
Yeah,
on both of my kids.
yeah. And they didn't want you to induce. You
Mm-mm.
didn't want to.
No, I just wanted them to come whenever they wanted to come.
Yeah.
Well, the first one with my son, I was 15, and my epidural didn't work.
Jeez.
So they gave it to me and they went on about life like I was numb, and I was like, hey, I still feel it. And they're like, no, that's pressure. I'm like, no, I
Marla,
feel it.
no.
I'm like, I feel it. And the doctors was like, no, you're okay, that's pressure. And I'm telling
They
my
said
mom,
that to
like,
me too, actually.
I thought I was gonna die, so I went ahead and said my
Yeah.
final goodbyes. You know, I told my mom, my aunts, and everybody was laughing at me, but I was so serious, and they were just laughing at me. And I remember just feeling like,
If I had that pain continue, I would have probably asked someone to knock me out.
well, okay, so I felt everything, and I kept telling them. So finally, when I went into labor, I had the baby. They had to cut me down and
Yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
So as he was sewing me up, he poured the red stuff, the iodine, on me,
Yep.
and I jumped. And he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's cold." And he was like, "What do you mean it's cold?" I said, "It's freezing." And he said, "You weren't supposed to feel that." So I said, "I've been feeling everything. I told you the whole time I've been feeling everything." So he said, "Okay." So he took his little pen and he pricked my thighs and he was like, "Can you feel this?" And I said, "Yes." And he was like, "What about this?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "What about this?" And I said, "You didn't do anything." And he said, "Oh my goodness, you could feel everything." I said, "I could feel everything." And so that's when they realized, after the fact, when they were sewing me up, that I could feel it. So my epidural didn't work for my son. With my daughter, oh, my epidural
They're
worked.
supposed to try again.
They didn't believe me to begin with.
That's
So
like
they
that is
never.
like my worst night. That's someone. That's my worst nightmare.
I was just, I just chalked at that
How
point.
long?
I chalked it up to being a kid. I was like, okay, I'm a kid, so they're not gonna believe me, and I just kind of left it
Oh my
alone.
goodness.
So that pregnancy, I went into labor. Let's see. I just went for a doctor's checkup, and they told me I was in labor. So, right, I had him at like
How far
5 o'clock in the evening. So I
How
was
far
probably in
along were
labor.
you?
I was
When
10
they-
days overdue. Remember, I went for a checkup.
No, I mean, like how, like, I wonder how far along in the labor process you were when they like.
Oh yeah, I think I
Figured
was.
it
I was.
out.
I was. Wasn't dilated that much. I just went for a little
But you
checkup.
just had some contractions.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I was having anything.
Yeah.
I just felt like I had to poop,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh no, you're in labor," and I was like, "No, I didn't eat breakfast." And they were like, "Well, we're sorry, ma'am. You can't eat nothing." So I was crying and crying and crying because I was so hungry.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, "Well, I can give you ice chips." So little Carla has no idea what ice chips are, right? So I was like, "Yes, bring me ice chips." And then she brings me ice, and I just started crying again. And I was like, "This isn't ice chips. This is ice."
Oh, you thought they were like
I thought it was
chips?
chips. Because I didn't know what ice chips were. I'm like, "How come you didn't say ice, crazy lady?" She's like, "No, you're going to throw it." So I went through the whole thing starving.
And in pain.
And in pain.
Oh my.
That was my little baby's birth story. But that's okay, because guess what? I ain't going to have no babies no time soon.
That
so
is good
I didn't
birth
touch,
control.
I didn't touch nothing or nobody
Yeah.
for so long after that.
Oh my.
And it definitely helped me out. But with my daughter, oh, that epidural worked immediately. I was in there
Goodness. Were you like,
dancing.
as soon as possible, please?
Yeah, I was dancing, like I was doing
Mhm.
everything. And then, and I had my epidural, and I was good. And then finally, the nurses were like, "Well, the doctor won't be in until 7, so we're just gonna be chilling." And at like 5, I was like, "Hey, y'all, something doesn't feel right." So they came in, and she came in, and she was like, "Okay, hold on just a minute. it. Like, she opened it up and ran to the hallway and called somebody in. And my daughter was literally coming out. Like, her head was out.
Holy crap.
She was still in her entire sack.
Oh my God.
So she was like, oh my God. The lady, she went out and she got another lady. She was like, we can't wait for the doctor. So as soon as they popped the sack, she just kind of slithered on out.
Holy crap.
I didn't have to push at all. Like, that was.
Well, you deserved that one.
Thank you. That was the best one. I was like, hey, I like this. If this would have happened the first time, I'd probably have 6 kids by now.
You're funny.
How are you feeling right now?
Good.
Feel weird?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you can feel the heat?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, y'all, I know y'all do this and see this every day, but can you listen? Listen to me today. Just me only.
Wow.
And that kind of like makes you wonder when they talk about all these women that died during childbirth. And it's like, what happened? What did she say?
Yeah.
And of course, you're not going to put that in the medical report that she complained about something for 4 hours and y'all did nothing about it.
So much buildup, I feel like.
I'm going to break it down into quadrants. Well, your scalp does look really good, though.
The inside looks pretty good. It's just that a lot of it is the
outside.
Okay.
Is this burning you at all?
No, it's very refreshing.
Okay, good. Hold your head down. This is going to be the first little piece. I do want to see what that CBD is going to do for you, though.
Yeah. I have to just make sure it's okay with breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it's not any THC. Well, I shouldn't say not any, because I listen to a lot of CBD podcasts, and now they're saying that it's almost impossible to have a 0.000% of THC in your CBD, but you would have to take crazy amounts of it, ridiculous amounts of it, to have it even show up.
And there's the evidence on effects of THC on babies. It's all like correlational. So women who smoke pot happen to have babies with complications, but women who smoke pot also smoke cigarettes, also do other types of drugs.
Well, and then that's
and
THC, not hemp. Hemp doesn't have any THC in it.
Right.
Pot is the psychedelic part of the plant, and the CBD is only the medicinal parts. So when people are saying they smoke pot because it helps them with this and this, really it doesn't, because that's only psychedelics. It's not the pot that we have now has really low amounts of CBD in it, period. It's been genetically bred to have more THC, less CBD.
That's
So
what people want.
yeah, that's the people who smoke pot. They don't care nothing about the health benefits. They just want to get high.
Yeah. No, my aunt has seizures, and she's on a regimen that includes some
Is it CBD? Okay.
But it's with other things as well. But she's found that to be helpful.
Yeah, I have crystals. We have paste. I have, of course, oil. And it's just like right now putting it in everything. Well, the paste is for like baking and if you're gonna cook with it. And the crystals also is for like teas. If you want to make teas, you would use the crystal distillate so it'll dissolve better. They're doing a lot with it. And I mean, CBD is legal in all 50 states. They know there's nothing wrong with it now. My mom was skeptical. She didn't want to take it at first, and then her legs swell up really bad. But her legs swell up, and she said she just kind of wakes up all hours of the night. So now the swelling has gone down. She said normally it takes her a minute to get up. Like when she wakes up, she'll have to sit there, put her feet down, like, you know, let her body catch up with her mind, and then she'll get up. And she said, no, now I'm just getting on up. I don't have to think about it anymore. My legs aren't swollen. And she said she's sleeping through the night, but she's still on a diuretic. So she said she still has to wake up. But if it wasn't for that, she's like, Carla, I'm sleeping so much better. So just some testimonies from her. Hold your back straight up, if you don't mind. And another friend of mine has them too. But normally, everybody that I've given the CBD to is kind of older. And my friends that take it only take it for sleep. That's internally, though. So.
My in-laws use CBD. My mother-in-law has like arthritis maybe in her hands. I think that helps.
It's just inflammation within your body, and this looks like it's inflamed too. So
that's all that this is.
That's what I'm thinking.
And
Do you eat bananas?
Yeah.
So bananas are high in mucus. They produce a lot of mucus in the body, and mucus in the body contributes to inflammation in the body.
Yeah, I need to like get on board with the changed diet. I went to see a chiropractor yesterday because my neck is getting inflamed from like the weird positions I'm putting myself in to do nursing, and he was like, "Have you thought about cutting like out dairy and gluten?" And I'm like, "I really haven't." I'm like very biased because I know that there's like this medicine that makes my psoriasis go away. And so I'm like,
I don't have to do all that other stuff.
but I can't be on it now because I'm breastfeeding, and before that I was pregnant. And like, maybe we'll just try again once, I don't know, because of how bad pregnancy makes my psoriasis. I'm like, let me get my babies in while I'm on lockdown. It makes me feel like less stressed about things when I don't have to be out in public.
Right.
So I might be like in it for the long haul, like unmedicated.
So do you have you looked at the effects of celiac disease?
No, but I mean, it's people. I think it's all about inflammation, right? It's,
Well, yeah, and my friends that realized that they had celiac, well, they had a gluten allergy, they were experiencing body rashes and weight gain and headaches. Like, it was just a lot that they were just feeling horrible about for a while until they realized it's the gluten. Well, they didn't realize that they were diagnosed with it. And this is so new within the past, like, 10 years. Before 10 years ago, celiac disease was almost unheard of.
there was like something with the change in farming practices or something.
I don't know, but it's something that happens with the wheat.
My friend was saying something about how, like, in a certain year, like maybe it was 2010, there was like some change in farming practices related to wheat, and people started
Feeling the effects of it.
Yeah.
So people who had never had any issues with anything ever
Right.
are now developing celiac disease, and they're not understanding what's going on with their body.
Right.
So it would definitely be something to look into, because just with the inflammation, and like you said, if their doctor said that you may want to think about dairy and gluten. Gluten is the easiest thing right now. I know dairy might be hard,
We're
but
happy to
gluten
go,
is
but
super simple.
yeah, bread free. It's
Just
not
wheat
that big of a
free.
deal.
It doesn't even have to be bread. Just wheat. Pretty
Yeah.
much wheat, and because it's gluten breads, it's gluten free breads, and it's
Sure.
gluten free things you can do. You just don't
Right.
even know
Yeah.
that you won't mix this. Sorry. I have my two clients that I started my dandruff channel with, that kind of helped me get to the point where I am now. Neither one of them have anything going on anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, they're good. The one lady who had the seborrheic dermatitis and the plaque psoriasis, and her issue was pretty much just like yours around the edges, but her flakes were crazy big in the middle.
Right.
She has nothing going on now, nothing, and it's just because she listened to her body. She started taking things out of her diet. Dairy one, high sugar's another thing. She said sugary stuff really does it to her, but she'll let herself have some
Sure.
sugar every now and then. She'll just know that it's going to be that kind of week.
Right.
But they started, just experimenting with other things on their own. But I think now that you're thinking about it, you'll start making healthier choices.
And that's how it starts. It's just being aware.
That's
you know?
it. No big changes
Right.
yet,
Yeah.
because it's scary. And then it creates anxiety, and then that's going to create another breakout.
That's right. Yeah.
It just looks like it's something happening right here, and it's not. And I know you can figure it out.
Yeah. I just haven't ever chosen like the diet path before. But I know it definitely is aggravated by hormones.
Definitely. Hormones and seasonal changes. So it's about to get cold, and it's about to get worse.
Sure.
And this is the best time for you to start kind of keeping an eye on your small changes.
Yeah.
Even if you need to keep it in a diary or get a big wall calendar and just write certain things on it. I ate this today, ate this today. And then when you have a crazy flare-up, just look back at the last few days. And then after a few months, you'll start looking at your crazy flare-ups. And it's like, every time I have rice, I flare up 2 days later.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay, I didn't even think about that. I love rice.
Yeah. It makes me sad thinking about not eating certain things. But if it's
No,
gonna make my scalp feel better, I think that's important.
Well, it's going to make your scalp feel better, and also you're not giving whatever it is that you love to your baby too. So if he's breastfeeding, you don't want to kind of gift him an issue based on the foods that you still love to eat.
Mm-hmm.
If your body has having a hard time with that food, his body's probably going to have a hard time with that food too.
Yeah. He's so freaking cute. How did we make that?
It's the cutest
I
thing.
just don't know. It's very exciting.
It is.
I was like worried that I don't know, sometimes parenthood is portrayed in this really negative way, and it's just like, we're tired, but we're so happy. I don't know.
I just think it's people who aren't ready for the baby that portray it in that way. And when people aren't ready for the baby, they still step up to the plate, and it's still a beautiful and wonderful thing.
And yeah, it's okay to not want kids, even at all. Like, you don't have to have children.
I was listening to this story. This guy said he didn't want kids, and it was a really sad story. He didn't want kids. His wife knew it when they got pregnant. She kept on pressing the issue. Got married. She kept pressing the issue, and finally, after like 8 years, he finally allowed to let her get pregnant. He did not want to have any babies, and he told her this his whole life. I don't want kids. I never wanted kids. I don't see myself as a father. I don't see myself in that position. I don't see myself as a nurturer. I'm not going to be going to games. I don't want to do football. I don't want to do none of this stuff that dads do. I don't envy my friends' lives. I don't want this baby. And she was like, well, once the baby gets here, you'll love the baby. Well, he never left the baby. He never learned to. But he also said the baby was born with a lot of diagnoses, like ADHD, hyper something, something. The baby was born with all these mental issues that made the baby, in his words, impossible to love. That's what he said. Medication, therapist, all this stuff with this baby. And he's like, and hell, here I am in my car crying as a grown man, because I don't even want to walk in my house. He's like, I'm here with a 12-year-old maniac as a child. He said, I'm just now leaving a session with another doctor talking about something that the kid did in school, and the teacher he was suspended, and they're trying to look for treatment. And he was just like, how did I end up here? And I'm sitting here like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was what I would produce.
Wow.
From the beginning. And I never wanted it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, geez, honey. That was heavy. That was so heavy. So he was writing that from his car, like not wanting to go in the house.
Aww.
It was so sad. But it's like, wow, people really have that kind of mentality, and they project that onto the unborn kid.
Yeah.
Like, you knew what your sperm had, and the lady didn't care.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that people should decide upon before they get married, before they kind of just commit to something. And
Definitely,
we have to just trust our instincts.
I think that if the man doesn't want kids, number one, he brings life. Okay, the man brings life. We're incubators. The sperm is alive in him. There's nothing alive in us. We have an egg, and we're the incubator. But the sperm is alive in them. So I think it has so many things of the man.
Yeah.
Then when it comes into us, we give it consciousness. We give it its connection to the universe and to the world, and that kind of that thing that women do. But it has so much of the man in it. It is part of the man.
Yeah, I mean, the baby is 50% the man. Like, we each share 50% of our DNA, and so.
If he says no kids, then now you gotta go with another husband. You just can't make this man that has told his sperm to not excel. Why would you want that sperm in your body?
Yeah, I don't really know what.
That story, I don't know why that story just came up to me. I'm just like, that was amazing to me. It kind of touched me. It was really sad, and it was like, wow, I never looked at it from that perspective. I never thought anybody could not love their kids, number one.
Yeah, my friend's husband left them weeks after she had their baby, and he was starting to act weird towards the end of the pregnancy, and he just conveniently realized that wasn't the life that he wanted. So it was like they made the decision together to get pregnant, get married, all that stuff. And
He was like, you know what? Changed my mind.
at that point, though, like, it's a little too late.
Hello? Now what? Okay, we can go to the shampoo now. How do you feel? You didn't have nearly as much come off this time as you did that first time.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to hydrate more. It's hard. And we're getting more sleep. I'm getting more sleep now than I even did at the end of my pregnancy.
Yeah. Get the neck, hold your head, it's kind of red.
This is what it looks like. You can plug it in. It's got a key that goes in here. Plug it in first. Okay. It's gonna complain because it's got a certain number of uses left. 12. So that's like basically 120 minutes worth. Because each one is like 10 minutes.
I'm thinking we'll do probably 10 to 12 minutes because I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it in 6 sections. 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6.
So it's going to complain. So, because it's telling me I only have a few things left. But when I need to get new ones, it usually gives me like, I don't know, 50 or something, or 75.
So
I just like tell the dermatologist office, I give them this code, and then they like automatically refill it.
Well, maybe I shouldn't show them that code.
It's
I'll blur
fine.
that out. Okay.
But essentially, so I press this button, and then it'll say set time 10 minutes, and it'll last 10 minutes, and I have 12 treatments left. And so what I do is I press this button, and then it'll just start counting down. And then when we want to switch sections, if we've like done, like once we've done all the different spots for, like we just break it up into 2-minute chunks, and so I'll pause it if we need to like move it around.
Okay. So when you're calling them, what are they doing? They're just putting minutes on the machine so you don't
they're
overuse
putting more
it?
treatments. I don't know why they don't just give me unlimited treatments. It's very odd.
So this machine is connected to, it's like through a Wi-Fi of somebody, they just kind of download.
I don't even, they
to
give
it?
me a new code to use, and that code refills the number
That is amazing.
Yeah. So, but it's just like to keep, I don't know why. They don't just like give me something with unlimited uses, but it's the same thing.
This is going to be the machine.
Yeah.
Let's get it started.
Okay. Alright, and I'll just give this to you when you're ready, and I'll just press the...
Okay, hold your head up. Yeah. Pull it in. And I'm going to get it all on your hairline.
Yeah,
Your edges.
perfect. Ta-da!
And it just stays here for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it could go for longer. I've been capping it at 2 minutes so that I can get enough exposure for the least amount of treatment overall. Now, I think what the pamphlet suggests is more like moving it around my whole scalp, but then I don't know if I'm really getting it. So,
You don't
like,
know if
getting
one
enough
spot got
spots,
more.
right?
Yeah.
And so often I just kind of keep it in around one place.
Okay. And that's
For
if that's
2
what,
minutes,
yeah, if
and then
that's
I
what you've been
switch.
doing, then that's what I would rather
Yeah.
do. And then we can move it around this area
Yeah.
a little bit. So he said you normally do around your hair and then you do your hairline last, or you do your hairline also separately.
Mostly we've just been doing my hairline
Okay.
because the inside hasn't been aggravated too much. In part because I'm not scratching it. I also use this on different spots on my body.
So the science, what did they say the science behind that machine is doing?
It's UVB light. It's I don't know exactly.
Your husband said that it didn't come with any instructions.
Not really.
Not really, and y'all had to
Yeah.
figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
So what about the doctor? Did they have like a little pamphlet or something that you bought it from to tell you how to use it?
There's just a small booklet that comes with it.
Was it in English?
Yeah. Yeah, it's from this company called National Biologic. And I also have a stand-up unit, like basically a full body tan. Well, it's half because I have to turn around. Like I have to do it once facing it and then once.
So it's like a tanning bed for your body.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of treatment.
Okay.
And this is from what now? This is from
National
Biological.
This is the Dermaloom 2X.
Dermaloom 2X. I wonder what the 1X version was. I wonder if they have a 3X version
I
now.
have no idea. They've got a whole in the
Look at this
booklet.
back.
They list all the different products that they have, and they have an even smaller one. You can use it to like treat vitiligo and stuff.